You are sitting on the edge of your bed at 12:47 at night. Your room is quiet. Your phone is in your hand. And for the first time in your life, your bank app shows a number that does not look fake. $10,000. Not $1,000. Not $2,300. Not almost there. $10,000. You stare at it longer than you should. Then you close the app. Then you open it again. Because some part of your brain still thinks the money might disappear if you stop looking at it. And the strange part is, nothing around you changed. Same bed, same hoodie, same cracked wall, same job, same city, same people texting you about weekend plans. But something inside your head quietly shifts. Because yesterday, one emergency could ruin your month. Today, one emergency is annoying. And that difference feels like power. Your first 10K does not make you rich. It does something better. It makes you breathe differently. Before 10K, every small problem felt personal. Your phone screen cracks and your stomach drops. Your laptop starts making a weird noise and suddenly you are calculating your whole life. Your friend says, "Let's split the bill." And you smile like it is fine while your brain opens the calculator. Even normal life felt dangerous, not because you were weak, because you had no buffer. You were living with your back against the wall. And when your back is against the wall, even a small push feels like a disaster. That is what being broke really is. It's not just having no money. It's having no room. No room to think. No room to wait. No room to make a better decision. No room to say, "I'll handle it." But then you save your first 10K, and suddenly life still has problems, but they stop feeling like threats. A bill arrives. You don't like it, but you don't panic. Your boss acts weird. You notice it, but you don't immediately imagine yourself homeless. Your phone breaks. You're annoyed, but you're not destroyed. That's the first change. Money does not remove fear. It turns the volume down. And that quiet is addictive. At first, you think 10K will make you want to spend. New phone, new shoes, better apartment, a weekend trip, a little reward for all the discipline. And honestly, part of you deserves it. You worked for this. You said no when you wanted to say yes. You ate at home when everyone ordered out. You wore the same clothes. You watched your account grow painfully slowly. $82 here, $140 there. One boring transfer at a time. So when you finally hit 10K, your brain whispers, "Now we can finally enjoy life." But then, something strange happens. You don't want to spend it. Not because you became cheap, because now you know how long it took to build. You know every dollar has a memory attached to it. That 10K is not just money, it's every dinner you skipped, every impulse buy you ignored, every weekend you stayed home, every moment you wanted to give up but didn't. So when someone says, "Bro, just buy it," you don't hear "just buy it." You hear "delete 2 months of effort." That's when your relationship with money changes. Before 10K, money was something you chased. After 10K, money becomes something you protect. And people notice. Not because you look richer. Actually, you might look more boring. You stop buying things the second you can afford them. You stop upgrading your life every time your account goes up. You stop needing every small raise to become a new version of you. Your friends still scroll shopping apps. You scroll your bank app. Not because you're obsessed, because the number makes you feel safe. And safety is the first luxury nobody talks about. Luxury is not always a car. Sometimes luxury is sleeping without checking your balance. Sometimes luxury is buying groceries without doing mental math. Sometimes luxury is saying no to a bad plan and not feeling guilty. Sometimes luxury is knowing that tomorrow goes wrong, you have time. That's what 10K really buys. Time. Not forever, not freedom forever, but enough time to not be desperate. And that changes your decisions. You stop taking every opportunity just because it pays fast. You stop staying in places that make you miserable because you have no choice. You stop saying yes to things that quietly drain you. Because now you have a small shield. And when you have a shield, you stop moving like prey. But 10K also creates a weird loneliness because you can't explain the feeling to everyone. Some people will think you're lucky. Some people will think you're acting different. Some will say money is meant to be enjoyed. And they're not completely wrong, but they don't understand what this money represents to you. This is not flex money. This is not vacation money. This is not let me prove I made it money. This is the money that keeps you from going back to the version of yourself who was scared all the time. So you become quieter. You stop announcing your plans. You stop telling people how much you saved. You stop trying to convince anyone. Because the more money you save, the more you realize that talking about money can make people uncomfortable. If you have less than them, they pity you. If you have more than them, they judge you. So you keep it private. And for the first time, privacy feels better than attention. Then comes the most dangerous part. You hit 10K, and your brain immediately creates a new problem. What if I lose it? What if it's not enough? What if I should have 20K? What if everyone else is still ahead? This is where you realize money doesn't magically fix your mind. It gives your mind new things to worry about. Before, you worried about not having money. Now you worry about keeping it. And this is the moment where some people mess up. They finally save money, then punish themselves forever. They become afraid to spend anything. A normal dinner feels like a failure. A small gift feels irresponsible. A trip feels illegal. They build a savings account, then become trapped by it. Don't do that. Your first 10K should not become a prison. It should become a foundation. The point is not to stare at the number forever. The point is to let the number change how you move. You still live. You still enjoy small things. You still see your friends. But now you spend from choice, not panic. You save from respect, not fear. You stop using money to impress people, and you start using money to protect your peace. That's the real upgrade. Because 10K is not enough to quit your job. It's not enough to buy a house. It's not enough to disappear and start a new life. But it is enough to prove to yourself you can build. You can wait. You can say no. You can survive boredom. You can become the kind of person who doesn't immediately destroy progress the moment it appears. And once you prove that once, you start wondering what else you can build. 20K? 50K? 100K? Not because you need a bigger number to feel better, but because you finally understand the game. Wealth starts when you look rich. It starts when your life stops falling apart every time something goes wrong. So if you're trying to save your first 10K, don't treat it like a small goal. It's not. It's the first wall between you and chaos. It's the first proof that your future can be different from your past. It's the first time your money stops being only for bills and starts becoming a boundary. A quiet boundary between you and desperation. Between you and bad decisions, between you and the version of yourself who had no room to breathe. And one night, when the number finally appears on your screen, $10,000, you will realize the world didn't change. Your room didn't change. Your clothes didn't change. Your life didn't suddenly become perfect. But you changed. Because for the first time in a long time, you're not starting from zero anymore.